Good morning, everyone. Welcome as we continue our Iceland journey. It's pretty dreary and rainy today, but we are heading back, making our way back towards Reykjavík, and we're going to go along the Golden Circle, visit some places along there. So, let's get to it. All right, driving along the Golden Circle, I stopped at this natural hot pool. Yeah, so that was really nice. Initially, it was a little bit crowded, but within like 15 minutes, all the high schoolers, must have been on a field trip or something, they all cleared out. So then there was only about like 15, 20 total people there. So that was really nice. It was pretty chilly and windy as well, but that was nice because I could alternate between being in the hot pool and then standing in the cold wind, cooling off, getting back in. They also had a lot of these pool noodles to use to like float around. So I sort of did some engineering and had one underneath my arms in the front and back, another one underneath my legs to like just float on my back pretty much. So that was fun. But yeah, it was a pretty rejuvenating experience. So yeah, we will now continue on the Golden Circle. All right, I'm having lunch at the Friedheimer Tomato Farm. It's a greenhouse tomato farm here in Iceland. I had this tomato soup and fresh bread, fresh basil as well. Yeah, quite a delightful experience. Probably some of the best tomato soup I've had. Yeah, the farm produces about 700 tons of tomatoes every year. So they're able to grow them because they use actually the hot spring. And that water from the hot spring is used to heat the plants. And then they have their own bumblebees here that pollinate all the flowers and the plants. And one more thing, the smell of tomatoes in here is just so prominent, so palpable. And then you get to enjoy the lovely tomato dishes. All right, I am now here in Thingvellir National Park, which is along the northern half of the Golden Circle. And we are hiking to the Öxarárfoss waterfall. So it goes along the Almanaga gorge. So there'll be some pretty cool sights along the way. But yeah, this is our hiking in the Golden Circle, Thingvellir, Öxarárfoss. All right, we passed some other waterfalls along the route, but now here, this is Öxarárfoss. The water sort of comes up over the rocks as it flows down. Yeah, Öxarárfoss and Thingvellir. Fun fact about Almanaga is that this is a valley that marks the tectonic plate boundary between the North American plate and the Eurasian plate. So yeah, this is the valley below. There's a gorge somewhere that also marks the boundary, but I'm not really exactly sure where it is. But yeah, this is the Almanaga Valley. Hey everyone, so we made it back to Reykjavík. Yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna be in the city. Not exactly sure what all I'm gonna do, but this evening was very nice after the rain and clouds cleared away. And I am here in front of Hallgrímskirkja, the famous Lutheran church here in Iceland. This is actually the largest church in Iceland. You can see, you know, pretty striking, like a very sharp bell curve. Yes. See? That's where we are. Downtown Reykjavík. So there's actually a lot more stuff to see within the Golden Circle. Things like the geyser area, Gullfoss waterfall, Carrot Crater. I didn't go to those today because one, it was like pretty rainy and not the best weather. Two, some of them were kind of out of the way on my route. And three, I was also feeling kind of tired from all I've been doing, so wanted a bit more relaxed, straightforward day. But there is a lot more to be seen in Golden Circle. All right, good morning everyone. Today is my last full day in Iceland. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about what is seems to be traditional Icelandic breakfast. So here we go, we have some coffee and juice. But really the crux of the breakfast is bread or toast along with toppings, butter, jam we have here, but also very commonly cheese and different meats. This is salami, sometimes there's ham, smoked lamb, then we have some vegetables as well. And then sometimes there's yogurt, like this is yogurt with some cereal. Sometimes there's other variations as well, like maybe pancake or waffle, some other pastry type thing. But yeah, this is really seems to be the classic Icelandic breakfast. So it turns out that today is the first day of summer in Iceland, and it's a public holiday. So I don't know how much is going to be open today, but it's just pretty crazy to me because of all the holidays that have happened while I've been here. Good Friday, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday, first day of summer. Seems like they celebrate a lot in Iceland. So I spend the day mostly going around, walking around the city, exploring some of the parks. Really pretty nice. Went to some museums as well. And now I'm heading towards one of the public pools. Gonna go visit that. All right, pool was really nice. So they had a lot of stuff in there actually. They had hot pools, cold pools, like regular pool, warm, shallow bath area, steam room, sauna. Yeah, the cold pool was like 10 degrees Celsius. So that's pretty cold. I only lasted about maybe 15, 20, like 10 seconds probably actually. But I would go between that and the steam room where you're really hot, then cold, and back and forth. So I enjoyed doing that. And the warm shallow pool, to be honest, at first I thought it was a kiddie pool because it was like all shallow and there were a few little kids there. But then I went over. It was actually really nice because you could lay down in the pool and enjoy it. So that was great. Met up with my Icelandic friend Andres while I was there. And yeah, seemed like it's a very popular place for the locals to go to. And also in the locker room, they had this thing I've never seen before. It was a swimsuit water extractor. So you put your bathing suit in there and then, I don't know how it works, if it's like centrifugation or high pressure system, it pushes all the water out of your swimsuit in like 8-10 seconds. And it really is quite dry. So that was a really cool invention I saw. All right, so we had raving reviews from Andres about the Icelandic hot dogs. So we have to give those a try. There's this stand downtown. These are the hot dogs. All right, let's try them. All right, taste test time. Hey. All right, there's all these toppings. To be honest, I'm not sure what all it is, but it's everything. Traditional Icelandic style. Let's go. Wow. That was a good hot dog. Has some like crunchy bits in the bottom. They might be like onions. Some like dried onions or something. Wow. Wow, that is one good hot dog. Up to this point in my life, I've been pretty skeptical of hot dogs because I've never had a hot dog that just blew me away. They were always like mediocre. But honestly, today changed that. This hot dog was amazing. So I've mentioned my Icelandic friend Andres a few times, but I just wanted to give you the whole story of how I met him because it's really crazy. So I'm in London at my hostel talking to some people and find out about this Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet. It's only £7. It's somewhere in Chinatown. So later that day I go explore Chinatown trying to find this buffet, and eventually I do find it. So I'm eating there and then start talking to someone that's sitting right next to me. He lives in London, works in London. I was talking to him about like what sort of things I should do in London, and he told me, if you haven't been to a pub, make sure you go visit a pub. He said really anyone is fine. So that gave me the idea to go to a pub, and I was looking around, and there's one right across the street from that buffet. So I'm like, all right, it's like a sports bar, pub, I think. I don't know. So I walk in, watching a soccer game on TV, and then I hear these people behind me at this table talking something about Iceland. I don't really know what they were saying, but I just heard them talk about Iceland. So then in a little bit, I go over to them and tell them, hey, I heard you were talking about Iceland. I'm actually going to be there in a few days. And then that's where I met this guy, Andres. He was visiting some friends there in London. And then that's where it started. He told me a ton about Iceland. We made that connection, and he helped me out a ton on this trip. So I guess what I learned from that is that you never know what connections you'll make if you just have some boldness and put yourself out there. This was just a series of me talking to people, strangers, and then eventually making this connection. So yeah, never know who you'll meet. So I visited Harpa, which is this concert hall and conference center here in Reykjavík. It's a really cool structure. But anyways, turns out that there was this cultural music festival going on today for children called the Big Bang. Yeah, I really had no idea what was going on. I walked in, got pulled into doing the cha-cha train with some kids. But it was a pretty cool thing going on. Glad I could experience that. This is Harpa, Reykjavík. Hey everyone, so I'm at the airport, about to head back to Chicago. Our Iceland journey has come to an end. So I just wanted to give some final closing thoughts here. It was an incredible trip. Saw some really cool places and met some amazing people from all over. I feel like half the value of these trips is the opportunity you have to meet and interact with people from all over. Iceland, Spain, the UK, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, people from all around the world. And they all have unique stories and experiences that I'm able to learn from. It's just really cool when you put yourself out there, start talking to people, you get to learn so much about them and their experiences. Yeah, I learned a ton about Iceland, the Icelandic people, and the Icelandic culture. And I think it's very fitting today, it being Earth Day, that I got to see so many amazing sights and experience nature in such a close and personal way this past week. The waterfalls, glaciers, rainbows, mountains, all of that. It's incredible. And lastly, I feel like I definitely gained a lot of confidence by doing this trip. Like I said, a week before coming, I was wondering what in the world I was getting myself into, going all around Iceland on my own. I did it. And I was able to make incredible connections and, stayed safe. So I feel like that's quite an accomplishment. I feel like there's something about living on the edge, being on the edge of your comfort zone, because that's when you grow. You grow in the wind and the rain, and with grit, and that's where the growth happens. It's in the valley, not at the mountaintop where you grow. So this was just a great way to really put myself out there and do that. So thank you all so much for tagging along on this journey. Glad I could share it with you. And that brings our Iceland journey experience to a close. Thanks so much everyone for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you later.